Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first ever live streamed annual gala to support the programs of Cluster. Cluster is celebrating 45 years of providing necessary and in some cases life-saving services to our neighbors in Westchester and Rockland counties. My name is Greg Werlinick, and I have the great honor of serving as your host this evening. Normally, we'd be gathered tonight on the banks of the mighty Hudson River at X2O, one of the finest restaurants in our region. But these are not normal times as we remain in the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, I'm speaking to you from an office in White Plains, socially distanced from everyone except my wife, who is here to keep me on track. Hopefully, you're viewing this right now on Facebook Live, but if not, please take a moment to switch over to Facebook and our page at Cluster Inc., as that's the best way to watch the show and interact by chat. Also, it's the only way to bid on our live auction prize. So if you need to switch, now's a good time to do so. Throughout the program, you'll hear from Cluster's leadership, key staff members, and two brave clients who agreed to share their stories with us so that you can see how your support can directly impact and change someone's life for the better. I'll also share with you some highlights from the 4 programs provided by Cluster: Youth and Family Services, the Housing Resource Center, Mental Health Residential Services, and the Westchester and Rockland Mediation Centers. Each of these operations provide vitally needed services to area residents who often have nowhere else to turn. Normally at our gala, we would have a raffle, a wine pull, dozens of silent auction items, and 3 or 4 live auction prizes. But due to COVID-19, we've had to simplify things. Therefore, tonight you will have the chance to bid on one premium live auction item, a 5-course, wine-paired dinner for 6, prepared especially for you at X2O by the world-renowned celebrity chef Peter Kelly. You'll get to hear from Peter himself in a few minutes. For now, trust me when I tell you that this is a unique dining opportunity that's not to be missed. And it's not too early to get things started. Simply type the word BID followed by the dollar amount using the chat feature on Facebook. And to get things started, I'll place an opening bid of $500. It'll be coming up shortly. I expect many of you will be eager to spend more than that for such a special meal. So let's hear from you. Now, before we get to our first presentation, please remember why we're here tonight. It's to raise money for Cluster. If you'd like to donate, please take out your mobile phone and text the word Cluster, followed by a space, the dollar amount, another space, then your name to 970-840-9000. Again, that's Cluster, followed by a space, the dollar amount, your name to 970-840-9000. The directions are on your screen right now. I cannot stress enough how much we need your support. Your generosity will help ensure that we can expand our service to a community where the needs exceed the available support. We hope to raise $70,000 tonight, but that's entirely up to you. We'll be able to monitor our progress toward that goal by keeping your eyes on the thermometer on the right side of your screen. And if you're not paying attention, don't worry, I'll keep you updated. Finally, if you'd like to say hello or share any thoughts, comments, anything you'd like to say, simply send me a message on Facebook Live and I'll do my best to respond when I can. So, without further ado, let's get started. To kick things off, I'd like to introduce Christina Yaman, the Executive Director of Cluster. Hey, Christina.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christina Yaman. I'm the Executive Director here at Cluster. For many, this has been an incredibly challenging year. Honestly, I have never been more proud of our staff and the way that they've come together during such uncertain times. Despite all the challenges, they continue to show up each day and do whatever it takes to take care of the community. For the last 45 years, that's what Cluster has done. It's who we are, and it's who we'll continue to be. We still face uncertain times, but I can promise you, as an agency, we are more committed than ever to taking care of those that need us most. To all the staff, I can't thank you enough. To all of our supporters, we are so grateful to have you with us. Cluster's work is more important than ever, and we can't do it without you. I'd like to just take this moment to thank one of our Yonkers sponsors, Mr. Ken Nielsen from Nielsen Management. Mr. Nielsen, you have been a long-term supporter of Cluster, and we can't thank you enough. It means so much to us, and it means even more to all the people we house with you. Thank you. For those of you that are home, please, if you can reach into your hearts and make a donation, you'll be helping us to continue to do what we do best, help the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina. You and the entire Cluster team have done a great job and really stepped it up during these difficult times. We'll hear from 3 of your amazing staff members a little later in our presentation. But for now, let me tell you a little about Cluster's Youth and Family Services, which in the days before COVID-19 included community-based after-school programs, youth leadership programs, a summer day camp, and an in-school extended day learning program. A few pre-COVID highlights include 95% of children who participated in the after-school program saw improvements in their grades and/or attendance. 30 teens each year participate in the leadership program. In 2019, 4 of those kids graduated high school and moved on to higher learning. And in 2019, 110 inner-city children attended the summer camp, more than half of which received full or partial scholarships, and all enjoyed free breakfast and lunch. And with a little luck, we'll be able to welcome the kids back for camp next summer. Thousands of children have benefited from Cluster's youth and family service programs over the years. And with your help, we'll be able to serve thousands more in the years to come. Now, please join me in welcoming Tony Carrizales, the President of the Board of Directors. Tony, take it away.
Hello and welcome to Cluster's annual gala. My name is Tony Carrizales. I'm the board president for Cluster, and I want to thank you and appreciate you joining us this evening. The pandemic has really changed a lot and impacted very many people in this country and the world. And Cluster, through its programming and services, continue to work and be supportive to the various programming on mental health, housing, mediation, family and youth services all through this time. And tonight, not only are we recognizing our workers, the staff, the community, but also trying to raise funds so that this programming continues to make a deep impact. I want to thank our staff, Christina Yamin, our executive director, everyone that's put in an effort these last 4 months to keep Cluster's programming, its critical services going. I want to thank the support of our board members who volunteer their time to make sure that Cluster is reaching its goals and working towards its mission day in and day out. And I want to thank you for joining in and supporting us, Cluster, whether it be a financial donation tonight or through sharing the email or a text to a friend about tonight's event so that they can possibly learn about Cluster and support it as well. I look forward to you all joining us at a future event at our annual gala, and I want to thank Greg and Catherine and their support in hosting this evening. Again, thank you, and on behalf of the board, have a good evening. Hi, it's Tony Carrizales, Board President, checking in again to remind you that please donate. You can text to donate today, and your support will go to the critical services. So please take a moment right now, pull out the phone, and text to donate.
Tony, I want to thank you for your strong, passionate leadership over the past 2 years. And I congratulate you and the rest of the board of directors for doing amazing work during very difficult times. And I just want to quickly thank the people who have been chatting. I see some people thanking Christina for her hard work. Let's get that dialogue going. I want to hear from everybody. Thank you. Before moving on, I'd like to thank our Rivertown sponsors, Stephen and Nancy Strauss, Lucille Werlenik, hi Mom, John and Marilyn Dimling, the Pollock Family Foundation, Marathon Development Group, and VCast, our technology partner tonight. The generous support of these key sponsors has helped ensure the success of tonight's event. Speaking of our clients, which is why we're here tonight, many of them are supported through the Housing Resource Center. And who better to introduce this service than longtime housing case manager, Daryl Schaaf. Daryl, let's hear from you.
Hello, my name is Daryl Schaaf. I'm an eviction prevention housing case manager here at Cluster, and I also do outreach and mental health work. I've been with the agency for about 2 years now, loving every minute of it. I must say, Cluster is the most caring and concerned agency I have worked for. What I mean by caring and concerning, I mean for the community. Cluster has helped out people who didn't qualify for our services, which was a big plus within the community. I've been out here about 8 years. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Been in the social work field for about 15. This is the first time that I've actually worked inside the community that I live in. And it's a big difference from coming into a community working, and also living in the community and working, which I see clients, past clients, potential clients that I either assisted or who needs assistance. It's very pleasing and makes me proud to work for Cluster. Sometimes we'll be the last result, hope for them, and we're that beacon of hope or that beacon of light that at least if we can assist them, we guide them to other agencies. We never leave anybody stranded and dry, and that's what I love about Cluster. I wake up every morning fulfilled, I have a mission, and the mission is to save lives, to preserve apartments, to show people a better ADL skill. When the going gets rough, that doesn't mean you gotta count yourself out or you gotta go do something radical. You could come, there's people here in the community that understands and that goes through the same thing that, our clients go through, and that makes our work, it's not work, it's a mission, it's a mission. And with that being said, everybody out there tonight, if you can find it in your heart, please donate to us so we can continue this great work that we're doing within the community. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Daryl. The great work you do on behalf of your clients does not go unnoticed. Now, let me share a little bit about the Housing Resource Center, whose goal is to keep residents in their homes and improve living conditions in their buildings and neighborhoods. Thanks to the Housing Resource Center in 2019, Cluster provided nearly $300,000 in financial assistance, which when leveraged by another $626,000 in partner support, preserved the homes for almost 300 families. 400 households received some level of homelessness prevention assistance, and hundreds of families received legal, code enforcements, and relocation assistance, as well as benefits advocacy. To drive home the importance of the work done by Cluster, I'd like to introduce you to Mercedes Portillo, who with a little help from John Shank, a special projects coordinator for the Housing Center, will share with us a bit of her story.
Hi, good evening, folks. My name is John Shank, and I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for the Cluster Housing Resource Center. And I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for joining in this special first ever live streaming event, the Cluster Gala, and we really appreciate your support. It's so important to our continuing work in the community. I have with me today a very special woman from Yonkers. Her name is Mercedes Portillo, and I had the pleasure of working with Mercedes in the past year and providing some services through our programs. I'm going to let Mercedes talk about her experience with our services at Cluster.
Hi, my name is Mercedes Portillo. I stay here in Cluster office. I'm told about the Cluster programs. This community in Yonkers, New York, is help for big night service. Cluster is the best. When we're looking for somebody to help me, I'm looking for somebody or anywhere. I receive nice service for my Medicaid, for my food stamps. Almost my program is close to bring me help. That's what I'm looking for, somebody help me again. My case, I received a letter for the CBR. I don't understand. Nobody told me about these programs. Only Cluster. Cluster help me. Any problem we have, Cluster is the best, really. I feel very satisfied. I'm excellent. Cluster bring excellent job. Thank you so much again.
You're very welcome, Mercedes. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
So folks, just remember you can text to Cluster to donate this evening, and please do so we can continue offering these services.
Thank you so much, Mercedes and John, for demonstrating one important aspect of the work done by Cluster and how, thanks to the continued support of our friends, we are able to improve the lives of so many of our neighbors. So let's take a moment now. Let's check on the thermometer in the chat. We had a great comment from Jenny Montalvo, who wrote that Cluster had changed her family's life and the lives of so many families. Jenny, thank you so much for letting us know that. We really appreciate it. We want to get those chats coming in. And I see that we have now broken the $50,000 mark. So that's great, but we have a long way to go. So remember, if you want to donate, look at the instructions right above my head. That's how you text to donate. Please take out your phone, text to donate. We need the funds and we appreciate it. So thank you in advance. Oh, and by the way, I noticed also that we have now a $700 bid on the Peter Kelly dinner. So that's the mark. So I want to see someone else there. There's got to be someone out there who wants to bid for dinner for 6, X2O, 5-course meal, wine paired. When are you going to have an opportunity to do that? So let's see some more bids, please. All right, speaking of Peter Kelly, it's time to focus on the live auction. But before we start, I want to share with you a recent conversation I had with award-winning chef Peter Kelly. Hey everyone, Greg Werlinick here. Thanks for joining. I'm standing in the heart of downtown Yonkers, outside of X2O, where we'll be momentarily going inside to talk to the world-famous chef Peter Kelly and find out how he's going to prepare for you, the winning bidder of the auction, a special wine-paired 5-course tasting dinner, an extraordinary meal, which I know is good because I have won this a few times over the past few years. So come join me and let's talk to Peter. Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Werlinick, our host for this evening, and I'm here today with someone who really doesn't need an introduction, Chef Peter Kelly of X2O and Restaurant X Bully Boy fame. And I want to thank Peter for hosting us today and for giving us a few minutes of your time. Tell us how you got started as a chef. You know, what was the impetus for that?
Well, Greg, as you know, or maybe don't know, I'm one of 12 children. So, you know, it was always like a restaurant at our house. So, at a very young age, I started at about 14 working in a little German restaurant as a dishwasher, and I sort of got the bug for it. And so I wound up going to school and college and always working in restaurants, and opened my first restaurant in 1983.
So how did you pick Yonkers? I mean, you could have gone anywhere. Why Yonkers for this restaurant?
You know, Yonkers, it's where all of my siblings and I were born. Mm-hmm. So it was sort of a return to my roots. When the opportunity came to open a restaurant in Yonkers, I looked to the water, the Hudson. I mean, I'm a Hudson Valley guy. And this was an opportunity to see if a restaurant could have a significant impact on a community. And I think while the jury, of course, is still out, I think I feel very fortunate to have been part of this community and the changes that have happened here.
So having come back to Yonkers, In your time living here, did you know of Cluster during those years, or did you develop an understanding of Cluster putting the restaurant here?
I didn't know of Cluster. I probably should have, but I didn't. Because actually, my family spent some time in a project here at Schlobaum. We lived there for several years. But I really started working with Cluster about 11 years ago, and it's seeing what they do and the commitment that they have to this community, particularly, but the Hudson Valley in general.
Yeah.
It's takes your breath away what they do.
Yeah.
And it's so necessary. I mean, like, in a sea of great causes, it's really a tremendous effort that the team at Cluster puts in.
So, I've been aware of your, I'll call it philanthropy now, in the decade or so that I've known you, as I've been coming to your restaurant, as I've been seeing at the Burger and Beer Bash every year. What was it that kind of got you motivated to give back, not just with X2O, but just in your personal life and all the things that you do? What was that? Was there a crystallizing moment, or was there an aha moment, or was it just a natural evolution for you?
It's about Harriet Murphy Kelly, my mother.
Really?
She, from the youngest age, she used to say to us, I cried I had no shoes till I met the man who had no feet. And the idea is just that we're all fortunate in our own way, and you do what you can do. I mean, some people can give tons of cash, and some people can give their time, and some people give their expertise in a field. It's about being able to do something for somebody that needs it.
Yeah.
And you find a way. I mean, you find the causes that resonate with you, and those are the ones you should actively support.
Yeah. Well, I speaking on behalf of Cluster, we as an organization appreciate you so much, and we want to thank you. And now I'd like to have you take me into your kitchen, and we can talk a little bit in there, and maybe you can talk to our audience about what the special tasting dinner could be for them.
Sure. All right.
All right, now we're going to have a very special thing. We're going to see how the magic happens. We're going to go into the kitchen and see how Chef Kelly prepares his meals. And this could be the meal that you might have if you bid on the auction item. So let's go inside.
So you asked, how will we come up with the tasting menu? What we do is we go to the larder and see what we have, and then sort of play around. So today I have beautiful swordfish just in. We have beautiful Magura tuna, sockeye salmon, yellowtail, beautiful scallops, hand harvested from Maine, cod from Chatham that is just gorgeous, eating so well. We have some jumbo shrimps, we have Portuguese octopus, this is the belly from the salmon, so tender and sweet. Those are some of the fishes, and then we have raised right here in the Hudson Valley chickens that we've tied and brined and dried a bit before we roast them. Duckling raised here. We'll take the breast off, we'll confit the leg. Cowboy ribeye here that's just been glazed with brown sugar and cayenne. And then we look at some of the vegetables that we can pair with. Heirloom tomatoes right now. Mushrooms, beautiful oyster mushrooms. Shiitake. Fruits, we have papaya, ripe papaya that's great and sweet and succulent. And then green papaya that gives us texture. We think about how we're going to season things, whether we use shallots or fresh ginger. Right from the garden, zucchinis and yellow squash and asparagus, tiny bok choy, these beautiful micros that are grown for us here, right in the valley. Fresh corn is in season now. I love fennel with its anise flavors. Napa cabbage, which is so subtle. Some of the herbs we're using. fresh thyme and basil and rosemary and cilantro. Try to create each dish. First, you're going to eat it with your eyes. We want some colors on it to pop on the plate. And we want textures. We want something crisp. So maybe we take the plantain, a green banana, we'll slice it paper thin, bake it till it's crisp. Maybe we get some color from these beautiful peaches from Conklin Farms just in. They're so sweet and delicious. And we build a dish like that, so that there's texture and there's color and there's flavors, both savory and sweet and salty, so that your palate on each dish sort of wakes up. And then we pair the wines to those dishes. Once we know what dishes we're going to do, then we go and we pair the wines with it.
Everyone in the community of Yonkers, all the staff and directors and all the employees of Cluster, we want to thank you, Chef Kelly, because we couldn't do this without you year in and year out. So thank you so much. Please bid, because this is a once in a lifetime meal prepared by this fantastic chef.
Let me cook for you.
Exactly. So thank you, everybody.
We'll make it worthwhile.
Bid often and bid hard. Peter, I can't thank you enough for your extraordinary generosity. And while I assume you're busy in the kitchen right now, I want to make sure you know how much I and everyone at Cluster appreciate everything you do for your community. If you are watching, please say hi in the chat. So before we move on, let's take a moment and catch up on things. I saw that the high bid has moved up to $1,600. And we had a $1,500 bid, a $1,600 bid. So we're up to $1,600. And I see some friends chatting. My neighbor Brian Chacoma logged in and said hello. And he, by the way, went to that tasting dinner and knows just how good it is. And I saw one of the board of directors, Jono, was chiming in. And a lot of people are in there in the community appreciating Peter Kelly, because Peter is the boss. And we all appreciate Peter so much. So thank you, Peter. And I want to remind everyone again, text to donate. The thermometer has really stopped moving, and this is the important part. So if you haven't already done so, look at the box right above my head. Those are the instructions to text to donate. It's very simple. You type the word cluster plus the amount and your name to 970-840-9000. Again, the word cluster with a space plus your name and another space and then the dollar amount. Excuse me, I had that backwards. Cluster, the dollar amount, and your name to 970-840-9000. So please get your phones out and send in those texts. So for those of you who are in the audience and haven't already done so, please, if you haven't bid on this amazing dinner at X2O, do so now. As a reminder, it's a 5-course wine-paired tasting meal for 6, so you can bring 4 of your friends. How great is that? And it'll be just for you, prepared by Chef Kelly. So if you want to win this unique meal, simply send me a message via Facebook live chat, preceded by the word bid, so we can identify you. And I can tell you from personal experience that this is one of the best dinners you will ever enjoy. So let's see some strong bidding. Remember, all the proceeds go to support the programs of Cluster. And again, the current high bid is $1,600. And I'm sure we can do a lot better than that. So let's hear from you. Next, I'd like to tell you a little about Cluster's third area of service, mediation. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce another senior staff member, Tajay Gaynor, the Director of Westchester and Rockland Mediation Centers. Tajay, let's go to the videotape.
Good evening. My name is Tajay Gaynor, and I've been a part of the Cluster family for 14 years and Director of the Mediation and Housing Departments for almost 4. It shouldn't come as a surprise to any one of you that Cluster is considered one of the most consistent social service organizations to serve the Southwest Yonkers community. What may be newer for some of you is the knowledge that Cluster serves communities all throughout Westchester County as well as Rockland. The mediation and housing departments were established years ago to help people experiencing conflict. But none of us were prepared for the challenges that this year had in store for us. COVID-19 put a complete halt on our ability to help clients in need. But with that said, I must give a shout out to our program staff and volunteers for their ingenuity and drive in the face of adversity. In a matter of weeks, we were able to plan and prepare to host virtual meetings, trainings, as well as provide services using platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, as well as Skype. Our program staff members were mindful to consider potential needs of past clients, needs like engagement, human engagement, or access to food, given the pandemic. In a short period of time after we shut down, we began to contact clients, assess their situation, and connect them with needed services. You know, I'd be lying to you if I said I was confident in what the next 6 to 12 months would bring. I guess it's given, everything else we've experienced this year. But the one thing I can assure you is that Cluster as an agency will continue to push through and rise above any obstacle should it come. We may have bent a little this year, but we didn't break. I want to take another moment, if I may, to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight and helping us celebrate the many programs that Cluster manages successfully. It is in these hard times that I hope you see us as an agency worthy of your support so that we may continue to help individuals and families in need. So if you're in a position to do so, please click the button and donate. Much love and blessings to you all.
Thanks, Tajay. We certainly feel the love. Right back at you, my friend. And as Tajay mentioned, the Mediation Center provides high-quality dispute resolution services to local residents and businesses. Some of the vital resources provided by the Mediation Center include highly trained community volunteers that mediate, arbitrate, or conciliate cases in small claims, civil, family, housing, and surrogate courts. Cases are often referred to us by police, probation departments, local attorneys, schools, or other social service agencies. Resolutions through mediation offer our clients quality legal advice to mitigate problems that they would otherwise have lacked the resources to adjudicate through the court system. So before we continue, let's check in on the thermometer and the auction and see how we're doing. I noticed we got a recent bid from Sam Buckley for $1,750. That's the new high mark. Thank you, Sam. I want to keep those bids coming in. I think we can get to at least 2,000. So everybody keep bidding. And let's see, the thermometer, we're up to 51,500. So we're making some progress, small and steady, slow and steady, but we can do better, everyone. Remember, text to donate. If you want to bid on the auction, chat the bid. If you want to actually donate money, text to donate. All right. Speaking of donations, I'd like to acknowledge and send our thanks to our Palisades sponsors, Mary and Arthur Kentros, Lynn Hoffman and Jerome Silverman, Andrew Levin, Stephen and Betsy Hunter, John and Kyla Murphy, Sterling National Bank, the accounting firm of PKF O'Connor Davies, the law firm of Beldock, Levine and Hoffman, Anthony DiCaprio of the DiCaprio Mediation Group, Tom and Margaret Roth, and Patricia Woods. Again, your generous support is deeply appreciated. And to everyone in the audience, if you haven't already done so, take a moment sometime tonight to check out the Gala Journal on our website. There you'll see a full list of all of our sponsors, as well as the names of our board of directors and our wonderful event committee. Personal messages from Christina and Tony, and a huge shout out to Craig Kennedy, who retired this year after 35 years of incredible service to Cluster. Craig, there are hundreds of people who will be forever indebted to you. From everyone at Cluster, thank you, and best of luck as you head off to Pennsylvania to spend quality time with your loved ones. Next, I'd like to introduce a video from our final staff member this evening, Jasmine McCormick, the Director of Mental Health Residential Services. Now, from her office at Cluster, here's Jasmine.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine McCormick and I have worked at Cluster for 11 years. I am the director of Cluster's Mental Health Residential Services program. For the 142 residents in our housing program, they have faced many challenges in their lives. Our staff work to ensure that they will not have to face homelessness, long-term psychiatric hospitalizations, and the criminal justice system ever again. Cluster provides a safe and secure home environment where our residents work on their life goals, such as finding employment, taking care of their mental and physical health, and reconnecting with long-lost family members. During the pandemic, our frontline workers were also tasked with ensuring that our residents were safe in their homes. Out of the 142 residents in our program, 5 of them tested positive for COVID-19, and we had 0 hospitalizations. I really believe in the work that we do here at Cluster. The dedicated staff continue to do the work in the most challenging conditions. With your help, we can build brighter futures for some of our community's most marginalized members. Thank you for coming tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jasmine. The Mental Health Residential Services Program provides housing and rehabilitative services to adults with serious, persistent mental illness. The program, which is licensed by the state of New York, provides transitional and permanent residential placement, offers multiple levels of support, and assists with key areas of personal care. In 2019, thanks to Cluster, 142 people obtained a safe, secure home. 100% of the people in the program created their own recovery system and developed the skills necessary to help manage their physical and mental health. And 80% of the residents graduated and were able to transition to more independent living. And I can think of no better way to demonstrate the importance of what we do than by introducing Christopher Minucci, who will tell us how working with Cluster essentially saved his life.
Hi, my name is Chris Minucci. I'm a part of the supportive housing program at Cluster, and I'd just like to take a second to tell you about my experience. When I came into Cluster, I was at the bottom of my rope. I was homeless in a homeless shelter with a drug and alcohol problem, trying to get sober. I don't think if it was for Cluster, I think I'd still be living the life that I was living at that time. Cluster taught me the importance of taking my medication every day. That was a problem for me in the past. By implementing that strategy, I haven't been in the hospital in 6 years and I've been fully functional. They also supported my Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous programs and constantly checked up on that. And as a result of that, I've been sober 6.5 years. It's like everyone you encounter in this program, as far as associates that work here, they really care. And we always set goals. One of my goals was to do volunteer work. I volunteered at the Science Barge in Yonkers for a year, and then I decided my next goal was to go back to work, so I went to Access VR. And this is all directed by Cluster, helping me plan out my next move. And so I went to a rehabilitation program, vocational rehabilitation program for about a year. And then I got a job at a supermarket, Acme. I work part-time now. My next goal is to become an EKG technician. Cluster allowed me to move to a better neighborhood and a better location so that I could see my daughter on a regular basis. I really don't know where I would be without Cluster, you know, and also it's like they help you a lot, but they also encourage you to be independent. If I call my case manager and say, can you help me fill out this paperwork? Not that they'll push it on me, but they'll say, hey, I think you can handle that. So they encourage independence and taking care of things on your own. And the monthly home visits are excellent also, because they count your medication and they make sure you've taken your medication correctly. But it's not only that, they just do a general check-in with how you're doing, where your goals are at, and they make sure you keep your place tidy and neat. Just basic things that you should be doing. I could go on and on and on about Cluster, but the bottom line is that this program works. It took me from a homeless shelter and allowed me to be a fully functional person that's moving from one goal to the next. And so I ask for you to open up your hearts for this program, because if it wasn't for this program, I would have never made it. And I would like to see other people in the world that were in my same predicament or worse given this opportunity. That's about all I have to say. Bless you, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. That's really an amazing story. And I hope you continue to set and achieve bigger and better goals for yourself. So now let's check in on the thermometer, everybody. Last I saw, we were up to $52,500 plus. And I saw that my mother actually was up to, what, $1,800 on the bid for the $1,800 on the Peter Kelly dinner. So we're getting close to my personal goal of $2,000 minimum for that dinner, which is highly, highly worth it. So come on, people. Sam, I know you're out there. Lissy, you're out there. I'd like to see at least one more bid from both of you guys. My mother should not be the one to get this dinner tonight. And also, I want to mention that there are a number of you who went in through the Eventbrite login tonight and therefore actually, paid ticket price of $45 for this evening. So I want to thank each of you who actually paid that ticket price for a free event. Obviously, your ticket fee will go directly as a donation to Cluster and will eventually be loaded onto the thermometer. It doesn't automatically go there, but we will get it there. So thank you again. So we're 53,000. Come on, people. Again, text to donate. Simple. Take out your phone. You have it in you. Every $100, every $50, every $200 counts and helps. So please. I also want to thank some of the people who've sent in chats. My friend Steve Newman's out there. My friend Jane Alesi's out there. Elizabeth Basson. My mother. My kids have checked in. A ton of Cluster staff members have weighed in. So again, everybody, this is a community. We're all part of Westchester, and we're all part of this effort to raise awareness, of the problems faced by people in Yonkers, as well as the rest of the county. And organizations like Cluster are oftentimes the only ones that provide this vital safety net when the county or the state just isn't there or can't be there. So please, everyone, dig deep tonight. It's important. I'd also like once again to thank all of our sponsors, especially Ken Nilsson, who in addition to me and my wife, was a Yonkers sponsor of this event again this year. So please take a moment to review our digital journal produced by our friends at Moving Journals. I'd also like to extend our deepest appreciation to Donville Collins and the entire gang here at VCast. They've done a great job helping to stream this event from their office in White Plains. I must again thank Peter Kelly for his decade-long support of Cluster and for taking the time to sit through the interview with me. And of course, I'd like to send a huge shout out to all of the Cluster staff. Without your hard work and dedication and passion for service, we wouldn't be here tonight. Finally, and she doesn't want me to do this, but I'd be very remiss if I didn't send some love to my wife, Catherine, who not only had to put up with me for the past 9 months as we planned this event for those who know me, you know that that was no easy job, but also shot and edited most of the videos shown tonight. And she did her best to keep me on script and keep me apprised of all the messages. Thanks, babe. Love you. All right, everybody, we're nearing the end of the gala, which means it's time to close the live auction. So as of this minute, I think my mother is still the leading bidder at $1,800. So we're going to take 2 minutes. Come on, everybody. I know there are some people out there who have 6 people or 5 other people, including themselves, who they would like to bring to X2O for a 5-course, wine-paired tasting menu for 6, lovingly prepared by Chef Peter Kelly. Please type in your final bids on Facebook. Type the word bid followed by the number. I know there's some people out there who are gourmands and want this great food. You saw Peter describe to you in his kitchen how he thinks about the food that he's going to cook that night. There's fresh sushi, there's fresh fish and chicken and beef. And Sam Buckley just came in $2,000? $2,001. Thank you, Sam. That is just awesome. I appreciate it. You listened to me when you heard me say I wanted somebody to break 2,000. Come on, we have 1 minute left. Anybody care to try? Uh-oh, my mother bid 2,010. Sam, you're not going to let my mother beat you, are you? Come on. Sam, 2,050? 2,050. I know you got it in you, Sam. We'll give you 1 more minute because it takes a couple seconds to type it. While we're seeing if Sam's going to outbid my mother, I'm going to check out. I see my daughter Nola. Hi, Knowles. It's really been a great evening being in front of you guys tonight, and I'm hoping that everyone has enjoyed the process. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Sold to Lucille Werlenick for $2,010. And Lily, no, you're not invited because you live in Washington, so you can't come up for dinner. Sorry.
The Jacoma's $1,500. They gave.
And I just heard we got a gift from Brian and Sharon Jacoma for $1,500. Guys, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I saw Rich Nightingale of West Hab weighed in tonight. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate you. All right. So the auction is closed. Everybody, it's been fabulous. I really appreciate that. So my mother is going to get to go to X2O. So if you're a friend of hers, give her a call and see if she'll take you because she's got 5 spots available. All right. Now, in normal times, we would close the gala with our Fund a Need appeal. During the Fund a Need, we would simply ask people to raise their hands at a specific giving level. $5,000, $2,500, $1,500. Hold on.
Sam is bidding 2015.
Sam Buckley, $2,015. I'll tell you what, I will make an exception, Sam, and allow you to outbid my mother. So, Mom, if you want to try it again, that's fine, but for right now, Sam has the lead. So, back to the Fund a Need. As I was saying, we just want people to raise their hand, or in this case, raise their cell phone and text. Those monies go straight to underwriting one of the various aspects of Cluster's mission. Clearly, we can't do that tonight in the restaurant as we normally would. So I'm going to appeal to you directly. One more shot. Please take a moment right now and text to donate. The need is great, and the instructions are on the screen right now in case you need one more time to take a look. The need is great and growing. Thanks to the physical, psychological, and economic effects of COVID-19, we need your help now more than ever. And you can really make a difference regardless of how much you give. So please text the word cluster followed by a space, the dollar amount, another space, and then your name to 970-840-9000. Any donations that come in by the close of business tomorrow will count toward this event. So please feel free to share the link of this live stream to anyone who might not have been able to watch it live. They can watch it at their convenience over the next 24 hours, or in fact, over the next year until our gala next year. But in the next 24 hours, the donations will count toward our fundometer and toward our goal of trying to reach $70,000. So let's take a look. Where are we right now? We are at $56,275. I know we can get another $3,625 to at least break 60. Come on, people. I know we can break 60. We have it in us. I know we can do it. All right? Tell you what, I'm going to help out. I'm going to bid, well, not right now because I can't hold a cell phone, but I'm going to put in another 1,000 myself. So now I know that we're at almost 58,000. So we need $2,000 to break 60 tonight. So come on. All right, so as we're coming to the end of the evening, according to the thermometer, we have raised 56,900 plus my 1,000, so that's 57,900 plus our bid for Peter Kelly's dinner. So I think that gets us over 60,000. And I know when we get all the Eventbrite monies in, that'll tick us up a little higher. And remember, all the donations that will come in over the next 24 hours are going to count toward this, this fundometer. So please, 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 please text to donate. Again, thank you to Christina and the staff, Tony and the board, all of our sponsors, everyone who donated tonight, the auction winners, which might be Sam, might be Mom. As far as I know, it's Sam. But throughout the year, the support of everyone out there is really what matters, because we cannot continue to do the work we do without your help. And unfortunately, the job is never done. Again, anything that comes in over the next 24 hours will count, so please send those donations in. And remember, even though we're apart right now, we're all in this together. So until next time, stay safe, stay positive, and please wear a face covering when you're out in public. And if you haven't already done so, please register to vote. During these perilous times, there's a lot we can't do, but we can support worthy organizations like Cluster and make our voices heard by voting. So again, to all the people out there who texted, sent messages, I appreciate it. To all the people who sent love to the Cluster staff and the Cluster clients, and to Peter Kelly, I appreciate it. To everyone who sent money tonight, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks for joining me tonight, and good night.